Hello out there, we're on the air. It's a curling night tonight as we bring you the last game of pool play from the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. It's the Arena Playdowns coming to you live from the Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona. This is the last game of our quadruple header. The sun has gone down and it's time for MoPac After Dark. I don't know if I can talk like that for the entire game, and I'm not going to try. As we have a women's round robin contest between Team Feldman of Wine Country Curling taking on Team Mewers from OC Curling. Mewers is throwing the yellow rocks. Feldman has the yellows, and Mewers has the hammer advantage to start. As Amy Putnam is getting set in the hat for Team Feldman. So it's the last game of pool play, and there are some playoff implications to this game, as Amy's first rock is away. Perhaps looking to draw into the rings or a guard. Those are the two most common opening shots. This rock is coasting perhaps a little bit, and it does go through the rings out of play. A little bit of a stutter on the video feed. I will do my best to try to get it fixed when I can. So for Team Mewers, we have Kira Manayan with her first stones. There's a bit of a leadership change in the game, as Kira had to retire from the last game because of injury. And she's on the ice, so she's able to play, but to minimize, I think, the sweeping that she has to do, she's going to be taking over, holding the broom for Mewers. And that lad is just killing me. It's because someone's like camping right in front of the streaming hub. I'll see if they stop doing that or come up with a plan B. So Manayan Stone goes into the rings. It's going to be a takeout. A good shot there by Amy. So currently Mewers is 0-3, looking for their first win, while Feldman is, I think, I'll have to look up the record to be sure. I think they're 2-1 right now.
Oh no, don't worry, we got plenty of time. And I look back and I go, you do? That might be like 25 seconds on our
So this draw is going to settle in.
And I was like, just stay down there, just stay down there.
Oh, I said that Putnam's shot was made, but I don't think it was. I apologize. We have Melissa McGuire with her next. And that does just kiss the yellow. So just some small misses early in the end for Team Feldman. So we have the second for Team Mewers. This is going to be Leslie Chi, the minor in the competition, currently a junior in high school as I understand it. This rod comes up just a little short, and so just an unfortunate miss with the draw, or the guard. So I'm going to take a pause, I'll be right back, trying to find a better angle for the cameras, or the hub. I'll be right back. We are back to the broadcast where we saw the third for Team Mewers. That is Reed Berry. Looks like they were able to do a takeout. And I think the hopefully the video quality is a little bit better with the move. As we see Leanne Shearing with her next. So these games have playoff implications. Based on the record, if Mewers were to win, it would force a playoff game between Feldman and the currently 3-1 Team Connolly out of one country. On sheet C, we have a contest. Feldman has to win for the playoff. I thought if... Oh, right, because if Mewers were to win, then they're both 1 and 2, and then
If Mewers wins, Mewers is 1 and 3, and he's 2 and 2,
yeah.
and she's 3 and 1.
Oh, okay.
So she was going to win.
I misunderstood that. I appreciate that. So Feldman has to win to force the playoff. So there's playoff implications on the line. Thank you to Cameron for explaining the situation. Sorry if I sound a little frazzled as we see Riley's nets rock. And the other sheet that has big playoff implications is apparently on sheet C, the men's contest between Team Gilbert of Oval taking on Team Stidmore from Wine Country. It sounds like it's a win and you're in game. And also determine some of the playoff spots for the other teams in pool 1, I believe. We are to skip stones. We have 9 men's teams in the field and 3 women's teams in the field. It's an interesting situation in the house. It looks like Mewers is shot barely on the right edge of the 8-foot ring. And it looks like Katie Feldman is going to draw. And I would assume sit shot in the kind of biting the 4-foot if possible. So that looks pretty good. It's not shot, but it definitely blocks the draw path. Mewers has shot as we are to skip stones, and Queena Mewers is throwing the last rocks. They've tried some different throwing orders through this event, and they've kind of gone with the classic, as it were, with Mewers throwing the 4th stones. Although again, having Kira hold the broom, given her injury. As we see Queena push out of the hat, I think looking to hit the red back and out of play. Reed jumps on the stone. There's a danger of it jamming in the bat. It does jam in the bat, and then the red that gets hit initially goes to the back 12-foot ring. So it looks like a good outcome, and it looks like now Mewers is sitting 2. So that was a good shot there from Queena. Kind of a raised takeout shot. So given the playoff implications on sheet C, hoping to do some around the rings coverage when they're throwing home. And that way we can see how their game unfolds in part.
Got some food coming?
Oh, yes.
Some guy trying to figure out what he's doing.
All right, thank you.
So it looks like Feldman's going to try to draw around the center guard. I got distracted because I heard the word food, apparently. I've been eating okay this weekend. I had a burger on Thursday. I had some tikka masala salad on Friday, and I had taco salad today. So I've been eating great, and I'm not even playing on the ice. So this rock is just a smidge heavy. Let's see how far Akira can push it. And she pushes it to the back 8 foot. So a heavy draw could tap that red back 4-3. or else just draw for 2. The port does look to be somewhat open, although there's a danger of crashing. So it looks like they're going to try and just draw on the right side from this view, which is the safer shot, and helps guarantee the second point. So right now, Mewers is sitting 1, looking for 2 here with her last shot in this first end. So, to recap the situation, Feldman needs to win to force a playoff against Connolly. If Mewers were to win, then that just sets the order of Connolly 1, Feldman 2, and then Mewers 3. This draw is going down. It's a little heavy, but it's not looking too bad. It's been a nose hit. It just was a little too deep for the hit and ends up being just a single point for Team Mewers. But they're on the board with a 1-0 lead. Team Feldman will have their crack at the hammer when we come back to the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships, coming to you live from Coyotes Curling in Tempe, Arizona. Ongoing coverage of the 2025 Arena Playdowns is being brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. Throughout the competitive curling season, proprietor Ken Pomeroy updates the site with the latest stats and results, allowing visitors to see how their favorite team ranks against the other top men's and women's teams from around the world at DoubleTakeout.com. And by Curling.gg. Test your stip skills against your friends online at Curling.gg, free online curling platform with real physics simulation. And by Endgame Curling, manufacturers of the travel handle, as well as the Endgame Origin and Endgame Icon brooms, elevating the standard for high-performance brooms at endgamecurling.com. Rocks in play. We're underway here in the second end of our final draw of pool play. As Kira Manayan is looking to draw or put up a guard. This is looking pretty draw-y into the rings. And it's going to go just a little too deep and through the rings out of play. So Amy Putnam, yellow curry is curling food. As we see Amy Putnam throw her first stone of the end, looking to put up a corner guard, it looks like. This is going to slip into the rings perhaps, and it does. Settles into the back 8-foot ring. So Mewers is looking to maybe hit, asking Manayan to deliver a knockout, as it were. Kira Manayan has been curling for 3 years. Some of her appearances include the U.S. Curling Women's Arena Nationals as vice, reaching the quarterfinals, as well as the last chance qualifier Bonspiel. They won that to get their berth to Arena Nationals. And this is hanging out, but it's enough to chip the red and get it out of play. So mission accomplished for Kira. On sheet C, early results. It looks like Team Gilbert put up a 4 spot in the first end to open up a 4-0 lead over Team Skidmore. As we see the next rut coming for Amy Putnam. She's been curling for 2 years. She started curling in August 2022 after her husband bought her curling shoes in response to Amy's comments, quote, "I'm really glad you like curling, but we never see each other anymore." So thus began a love affair that speaketh not its name. Well, it's curling. You can say its name. Maybe it dares not say its name. It's been a day, guys. I'm just kind of going down these rabbit holes and see what happens. So the corner guard slips into the top of the reins as we see Leslie Cheese for a stone. I think looking to draw. Let me show you what I'm seeing. This is going to be more of a corner guard. So they had hoped to draw around, and that ends up just kind of wicking off of the red already in the rings. Not a bad outcome. And coverage of this end is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com, offering an opportunity for viewers to find their favorite top competitive team and see how they rank up against the other top men's or women's teams from around the world, offering insights in a variety of categories, including hammer efficiency, steel efficiency, and more at doubletakeout.com. So we have Melissa throwing her first, and that's going to draw around everything and go through the rings out of play. So Leslie's going to get another crack at drawing around. Leslie has been curling for 4.5 years. Her appearances include the 2025 MoPac Women's Club Playdowns, played second. Also the 2022 USA Curling Nationals U18, playing second. Also was at the California Curling Championships Junior Open, placed first. Was also second place at the 2023 Cal State Games. This draw looks a lot better on weight, but it hangs out a little wide. But it is shot stone, and it does give Feldman and McGuire a target to hit. And Feldman and McGuire, it's coming this fall to CBS, right after episodes of Matlock and before Elsbeth. That's Feldman and McGuire. They do sound like a detective drama. So Melissa McGuire has been curling for 6 years. And she's won bronze twice at Arena Nationals. This draw is right to the yellow, but just taps it back slightly. So that's a good response from Melissa. It's good for second shot. Does complicate the setup in the rings. As we see Reed Berry get set with their first shot. Looking for a hit. Although it's Saturday night, so I think some people might be looking for a fox. Going for some takeout weight. It looks pretty close. It's going to hit, it's going to roll. And it's going to roll across the rings to the edge of the 8-foot. So a pretty good result for Reed's first. We have Leanne Sherrick now pushing out from the hatch. It's Saturday night. Thank you so much for tuning in for MoPac After Dark. And so we're talking about takeouts. I don't know if people in the chat want to drop a note about what their favorite takeout food is. We're about to get pizza for my group. And I'm not necessarily in a pizza mood, but I'll eat it. I'll enjoy it. So favorite takeout foods to curl by. And Leanne's draw is just a little heavy. Goes through the rings out of play. And the play is the thing, as they say. So Reed has been curling for 9 years. Their accomplishments include appearing at the 2018 Arena National Championships. Also appeared at the Neon City Bonneville, won the championship in 2024. Was also the A event runner-up at the 2024 Drag Effect Bonspiel. And was also the A event winner as vice in the 2023 Robbie Burns Thrifty Bonspiel. And this rock's kind of hanging out. I think they were maybe hoping to draw and have another rock in the range. And this is going to go through and out of play. So I missed a chance there for Team Mewers. Looking over at sheet C, the rocks are being thrown home in the second end, but it's a pretty open sheet. We're hoping to maybe pop over there 4 skip stones and let you guys know what's going on. So again, Leanne's trying to draw, hoping to, I think, be on top of the shot stone. And again, this is heavy. This is the third draw in a row missed by both teams. And so that's that makes things tough for both teams, really. As we were to skip stones, we have Queen of Mewers throw. Queen's accomplishments include appearing at the 2024 USA Curling National Championships, reaching the playoffs a skip. To get there, they won the women's qualifying division in the 2024 Arena Nationals Last Chance qualifier. And this draw is looking pretty good. So 4th time's the charm, as it were, on the draws by both teams. Looks like it is second shot. It does set up a possible double. But it also blocks the draw path. So I think that was a pretty well-placed rock there by Ms. Mewers. So Feldman and Shearing are talking about stuff. I imagine they're talking about curling. It'd be interesting if they talked about anything else during this game. So they're actually playing very fast on sheet C. They are to skip stones. So I don't know if I'll be able to get my camera over there in time.
How long did the other run?
So the broom is down. I think looking for a control weight takeout to pop out the shot stone and sit shot by themselves with the red rocks. As Katie Feldman's rocked us away. She's been curling for 11 years. She won bronze at U.S. Curling Arena Nationals in 2018, 22, and 24. And this rock is looking pretty good. It's through the ports. It's on the shot stone, and then the shooter is going to roll buried in the back 4-foot. And then the shot stone that was yellow is now in the back 12-foot. So a good shot there from the skip of the Feldman rink, the titular skip. So now Mewers is going to try to hit, kind of tap the yellow back with her last stone without the hammer here in the second end. It's over curling slightly. Let's see if they're able to hold on to it. And they get a piece of it, and it's enough to get it to the back 12 or out of play. There's a bit of a traffic jam back there. Not quite sure what happened. And then on sheet C, that end is finished. And Team Gilbert's exchanging fist bumps, but that could mean anything. Could also mean, like, man, it was really hot outside today. It was, I think, 103 at one point. All right, so the broom's down, looking for a draw. As Mewers is sitting 1, 2, maybe 3. That third one is at the top 12. One red. So it's 4-1 right now. 4-1 Gilbert over Skidmore. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, so draw for Feldman. Trying to keep you guys up to date on these games. We'll go around the ring and update all the games at the end break. As Feldman's shot is underway. Nice smooth release. Pretty wide open draw to the forefoot for a single. The weight looks okay. They were on it briefly, now they're off. Because it is coasting a little bit. It's 1370, so it has a chance to go deep. As Manayan jumps on the stone to push it to the back 12 foot. And so it does negate one of the Mewers yellows. But otherwise, it's a steal at 2 for the yellow squad. That doesn't sound great. I won't say that again. It's currently 3-0 in favor of Team Mewers over Feldman. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back as we continue with our coverage of the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships. I'm trying to keep score, and I'm not scoring every shot like I should. There's 3 games on the ice this draw. We have 2 games from the men's pool 1, and then we have 1 women's game, which we're watching right now. In the first game on sheet A, we have Team Padilla from Wine Country taking on Team Collins, and we have some big point swings to start off. Collins converted the hammer with 2 in the first. And then Padilla responded in kind with a 4 spot. It's currently 4-2 in favor of Padilla as they are underway with the third end. And as we mentioned before, the men's pool 1 game on sheet C, Team Skidmore got a single to get on the board. But Gilbert from the Oval opened up with a 4 spot. So it's currently Gilbert 4, Skidmore from Wine Country 1. And all scores are being posted to bondspieler.com. As we get underway with this end, coverage is being brought to you by curling.gg. For skips and curlers who love a good game, curling.gg is your ultimate practice tool. Free, easy, and all about strategy. Visit curling.gg to test your skills right now. So this shot from Amy Putnam is going to, I think, slip into the top of the rings. Is it biting? Is it a guard? It's biting. So Manaya is going to try and take it on with a hit and roll, perhaps, to go to the under the guard. Calling hard sweep to hold the line. Mewers is looking to make sure it stays on target. It's going to be close, I think, maybe for a piece, and a piece is all they're going to get. But it's enough to roll the shooter to the back 8 foot, so it changes things around. Just the rock over curled, unfortunately. as Putnam delivers her second stone. Amy notes that when she isn't curling, she's saving lives and curing cancer or spending time with her two small humans. She loves Doritos, flamingos, and being on the water, thawed or frozen. So this is a draw that turns into more of a guard. So helps a little bit as a center guard. And so as part of the competition, we're playing what's called the no-tick rule. It's an extension of the free guard zone rule, where the first 5 rocks in the space in front of the house can't be displaced by an opposing team. And so the no-tick rule is an extension of that, where an opposing team can't dislodge a rock off the center line until the 5th rock to the end, or after the 5th rock to the end. And if that happens, the non-offending team has a choice to either leave the rocks as they played out, or to remove the offending stone and replace the original guard. And so Leslie's able to make that hit and roll. A great shot there from the junior. And also rolls buried in the back 8-foot, 12-foot zone. So now Melissa might be going for a hit or for a draw. Based on the release, it looks like a hit. Like a draw weight hit, perhaps. This is more of a draw. It's going to go to the yellow and the inside of the yellow, and then roll inside. So it's going to be good for shot. Let's see if I can see a better angle on it. Yeah, it's shot. So as she gets set for her next throw, Leslie notes she created a website called curlingmatefinder.com to help connect curlers and find teammates. She's a 17-year-old junior in high school, is a valedictorian, class president, and elected student board member, and captain of her school's varsity track team. When she's not curling, she likes to crochet and play video games. Or video games, as some people say. No one says that. So that draw is pretty good. Maybe just a little light and a little wide. It's going to be good for second shots. And so it looks like McGuire is being asked to throw a very similar rock to her first. Melissa notes that she was self-diagnosed 5 years ago with a rare disorder that prevents her from hearing Katie yelling at her from the hack, and instead only when she's in the house. Her hearing in response to the Scottish Olympians remains unaffected, which is very useful because there is a Scottish Olympian as their coach, as Edie from Lake Tahoe Epic Curling is on hand to help. We see Reed with their next, looking to draw around the center guards. This is looking a little up weight, unfortunately. It's going to settle in the back of the rings, the back 8-foot ring. Not a bad outcome. It does give a backstop for Feldman and Leanne Shearing to draw to, which seems to be the call. Leanne's been curling for 6 years. She loves curling, golf, skating, and misrepresenting how cold it is in northern Bonspiel locations in February. And this is going to be more of a guard. That does help somewhat, but there's still a draw to the button on that left side. But also, Leanne was kind of heavy on her her last 2 stones, so I think that was her adjustment. So Reed is pushing out from the hatch. Reed is a PhD student in sociology at UC Irvine, researching LGBTQ plus populations, their family structures, and health outcomes over time. When Reed isn't working or curling, you can find them playing board games or training their clinically insane rescue dog named Jasper, who is a Chihuahua Mini Aussie Belgian Malinois mix, which I don't know for sure, but it sounds like a lot. So that draw from Reed ends up just a smidge light, but otherwise was well placed. And Quina should be able to make a play on it with her last. But if it went like another foot, it would have been shot. So Feldman was talking over the shot selection. And I think they're going to try to open up the front. Maybe tap back the red into the rings. This is a dangerous shot. So it gets the red onto the yellow, and it looks like it paid off. It's Feldman sitting 1 and maybe 4, and yours is 2, 3, 5, 6 in terms of the order of stones in the rings. And of course, only one team can score per end. It'd be fun if that was different, but they're talking over their shot selection as Quina comes down. It's a bit of a tricky situation. There's a port there, but I don't know if the port is actually going anywhere useful. So that was a good raised takeout by Leanne Sharing. So after missing out some draws in the last end, Leanne really stepped up in this third end. So it looks like they're going for a draw. This seems a little... I'm not quite sure if it's going to get to shots. They could be trying to set up something. As Mewers pushes out from the hatch. Quina recently became a research attorney for the Orange County Superior Court. When she's not working or curling, she enjoys cuddling with her 19-year-old cat, Zarina, and line dancing. She also enjoys eating good food, doing escape rooms, and playing cooperative board games with her partner, Alex. And that ends up as a high guard. That could be what they were going for, just to prevent Feldman from tapping that red rock on the left. However, there's a bit of a port. Basically, Feldman can start even maybe just even a little bit more outside of where Leanne has the broom, and could just draw through the port and sit buried on the button in the center of the house. So Katie Feldman also won gold medal at the MoPac mixed doubles event, Bonspiel in 2019. She's been recognized for her volunteer efforts at the 2019 International Tankers held in British Columbia. She's currently president of the Wine Country Curling Club and hosts the Crush and Barrel Bonspiels. Also heavily involved with organizing events at the regional level and representing Arena Club curlers on the USA Curling Arena Club Advisory Group. So I thought she could have gone out a little wider, but as it was, it turns out that it didn't really curl back as much as I thought. So right now, Feldman's sitting shot, but it's going to be a question of who can get to the button, if it's even possible, with so much garbage in front of the house. I think they're going to try and draw again, maybe to put up a guard kind of in front of the Feldman red to prevent any sort of run back. And that seems to be what's going on. Just a debate about where to put the broom. And they changed to the other side, which makes sense. Let me show you the delivery. And it's looking maybe just a little heavy, but not too heavy. It looks like it's going to end up in a good place. Okay, it wasn't heavy at all, so I take that back. It narrows the port, but it seems like there could be a chance to tap the red back, but it would have to be a weird shot. I think you could try to run the red back on top of the yellow and then spin in for shot. There's a decent amount of danger there. As we're looking at the overhead monitor in the warm room. So you can see that there's a port there, but to get to the stone, you're going to have to throw an appreciable amount of weight. And by that I mean probably hack or more. And if you're throwing hack or more, you might as well try to angle the red onto the yellow that's in the kind of about 2 o'clock on the clock dial, and then kind of spin back towards the center. But as it is, it looks like Feldman's going to try to draw through that gap, and that port, that gap is as narrow as it can be. So this is Feldman's last here. So it needs to start curling now, really, unless they're going to go to plan B and it crashes on the guard. And this is going to be all she wrote for this end. So it's going to be a score of 1-14. Feldman's got on the board. Mewers holds a 2-point advantage heading into the fourth end, as well as the hammer. We're going to take a pause in the action. We'll be right back as we continue with our coverage of the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships. Going around the rings, it sounds like we have the good old-fashioned one team scores 4, the other team scores 1, and then the original team scores another 4. I'm referring to the Skidmore-Gilbert game on sheet C. Gilbert put up a 4 spot in the first end. Skidmore was forced to 1 in the second. And then Gilbert responded again with another 4 spot. Currently 8-1 Gilbert over Skidmore. Opening rock on our feature sheets. As you see, Leanne looking to put up a guard, it appears. On the other game on the ice, this draw, we have Team Padilla of one country holding a 6-2 lead over Team Collins of Park City. Excuse me. So that guard by Amy was made successfully, so full points for Ravenclaw. And it looks like after some discussion, Queena and Kira are going to try to draw around that center line guard. And the weight looks okay, maybe a smidge light as they're really swooping to try to get to the distance. And it looks like it's going to be there. Now the question is, how deep is it going to go? And it's going to go to the biting forefoot ring, but it's exposed. And so Feldman didn't waste a second putting the broom down, calling for a takeout. Calling for line. Now off. So it looks like it's going to be close. And it looks like they did make contact. Or they didn't make contact. They did make contact. They made the shots. My apologies. It can be hard sometimes to see the action. I do my best. As Minaya is also seeking to do her best through the injury. And looking to draw around again, so maybe just a smidge more weight, a little less ice. Looking to hold the line. It's there in terms of the line, but the weight is a little up. So it's going to, and that's what they needed. I forgot about that Feldman rock in the rings. So that shot was made, 6th round for shots. And teams are trading hits back and forth, as Melissa McGuire just said with her left-handed delivery. A little bit of a spin, excess energy in her delivery. Trying to push it over. Might get a piece. Unfortunately, it flashes. So on sheet C, the contest between Gilbert and Skidmore. There was a red in the rings, but they just executed a takeout by Skip Gilbert, who throws third. As we have Leslie Chi with her delivery. So right now, Gilbert's sitting 3 in the rings. And if I were a TV commercial, I'd be saying, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. This rock is over curling. It's going to crash into the guard, but not enough to dislodge it from the center line. Although the 5-rock rule is over, so it would not have been a violation at that point. So Melissa with her nets, looking for a hat weight takeout. So maybe a little less ice than her first one. The weight is going to be probably pretty similar, maybe just a smidge less. And this is over curling. It's going to crash onto the guard, and then the shooter's going to roll wide right. So Mewers has the advantage here. She could choose to split the rings, and that is what she's looking to maybe do initially. Maybe tap back the yellow shot stone, or draw around. Depending on the skill of the opposing team, splitting the rings might be good because it would be harder for the opposing team to get both stones out. But it also depends on the team's ability to make takeouts. So we have Leslie working on a draw, trying to get around the guard. The weight's still up. So this one's going to go to the back of the rings and out of play. So just a missed opportunity, literally. And so the broom is down for Leanne Shearing to do the takeout. And hello to Eric, who's watching his wife curl on the YouTube stream. Obviously I've seen both Eric and Amy. It's great to see them as a curling couple. And Leanne was able to make the hits. So just call her Elton John as they play the hits here on sheet B. So looking for perhaps a hit and roll for Reed's first rock. Calling for hack weight or bumper, so actually it's board weight. The length might vary, but you want to throw with enough energy for the rock to reach the scoreboard essentially. So calling hard for sweep. Let's see where we're at here. This looks like it's going to hit and it's going to roll as Leslie went off of it. I don't know if she could have swept it even just like an inch further. But the takeout was made, and that was a good shot there by Reed. So very, very quickly, Leanne is already throwing her net stone. I just no need to waste time if you know what the shot's going to be. And so it looks like it's trying to hit. And we're going to say farewell to the Mewers yellow and hello to the Feldman red. So very quickly, sheet A is on their fourth end break. We're going to take a fourth end break at the end of this end. And the halftime show for this draw is going to be a kabuki theater performance of the history of curling in Japan. It's quite interesting. It's also exactly 5 minutes long, which is the length of the halftime break. It's going to be performed in the warm room, so you won't be able to see it, unfortunately. So it looks like Reed was able to make contact with the red, but not enough to get the red out of the rings, but enough to push it to the edge of the 12 foot. And unfortunately, the shooter was also lost. So not a bad outcome, although Feldman is still sitting 1 in the rings. But it is Mewers that has the hammer in this end. So the broom's down, looking for a draw. We could time this, bad girl. Bad boy sounds different. I'm just curious how it sounds different. But we're watching the rock as it travels down the ice with Feldman's first. This weight is going to be close to get to the top of the rings, but it's 1640, maybe just a little bit slower, and that's good for a guard. And so so Mewers has the hammer. So that shot seems to be what Feldman wanted. To kind of block the draw path down the center as Mewers gets set to deliver her first rock with the hammer, looking to draw around the center guard and sit shot. This is looking pretty good. The weight might be an issue, as it's going to settle in the back 8 foot, biting the 4 foot, it appears. So it does give Feldman a path to draw to. It's shot, it's buried, but it does give backing for Feldman to put a stone right in front of. So Feldman's looking for a draw. She's going to need just a smidge more weight this time. So probably maybe low 15 seconds. As we time the distance between the hog lines as the rock travels. There's different ways to measure it, but this is what tips most commonly do to get a gauge of the T-line weights. That was 1337, so that's a little bit heavy by my gauge, but it's going to be enough to make contact with the yellow, tap the yellow bat, and then the red's going to sit shot. So not bad, but not great. It is shot, but it is a target for Mewers to hit. And you can see from this head-on view that it is accessible, although there's a danger of a jam. So looking for hack weights, as she did a little hop before. So looking for hack weights. They want to hit on the inside of the red. So Quino's asking for just a little less ice in terms of the line. So I think she's going to throw close to about a 12.5 is my guess. As we have the last rock here, looking for a takeout to sit 2. So they're trying to push it over. I got 11.30, so the weight's a little up. Okay, so that could have been a lot worse. So it didn't cross the face of the Feldman stone, and it just kind of side kicks the Feldman rock into the Mewers stone, but the ricochet was enough to push the Feldman stone back out of scoring position and keep the Mewers rock in play. So that is a score of 1 for Team Mewers to extend their lead to 4-1. And we are to the halftime break, and it's time for Kabuki in the warm room. But before we do, just another thanks to our sponsors, including doubletakeout.com, offering insights and rankings of the top men's and women's teams from around the world. Visitors can see how teams fare based on hammer efficiency, steel efficiency, and more at doubletakeout.com. And curling.gg. Curling.gg is the only platform where you can take your shot, watch it execute with accurate physics, and undo, try again until it's perfect at curling.gg. And by Endgame Curling, manufacturers of the travel handle as well as the Endgame Origin and Endgame Icon brooms, elevating the standard for high performance brooms at endgamecurling.com. So looks like all the teams are on their 4th and break. I keep wanting to see if I can jump over to catch how their game is going on sheet C, but never a great opportunity. So we're just going to take a pause. We'll be right back to the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg.
Why can't we do that?
We can try. They must give you a microphone. Yeah, this is we have to do this one.
You're trying to cheat. Cheater, complicator out here. I hope Jeff Barrett's practice right now. Absolutely not. 10 seconds. Double tap. Half mile. You get half.
All right, Rocks in play. We're getting underway here. That Kabuki Theater, I was crying at the end of the 5-minute performance of the history of curling in Japan. And I'm kidding, but I'm a little serious. The Museum of the Parliament called the Diet put out a newsletter about 12 years ago detailing how Japanese authors translated a rule book or a book of English sports, and they included curling in that translation. So like the first written examples of curling in Japanese date back to the 1860s or the 1880s, I want to say, like even before the big push to westernize the Japanese economy with Commodore Perry. So we are in the fifth end, and Mewers is holding a 4-1 lead over Team Feldman. This game has playoff implications. All the games have playoff implications, as Manayan is looking to, I think, draw around the guard that she put up. And Feldman also put up a guard with Putnam's first. So this is a smidge heavy. We're going to see who's going to sit down. And indeed it shall sit in the back 4 foot. About a sliver buried. Not a bad outcome. But it's enough for Putnam to be asked to draw on top of. So while the Kabuki Theater is happening, we have one final already in the books, as Team Gilbert defeated Team Skidmore by a score of 9-1, and the game was called after the fourth end, after Gilbert stole the fourth end with a single. Gilbert from the Oval has secured a playoff berth in tomorrow's Championship Sunday. And Skidmore, looking at the standings, there could be some chaos depending on the outcome of this game. Well, not the women's game, but the other men's game on the ice. If Collins wins, a certain set of situations happens. If Padilla wins, another set of circumstances happens. There's two possible outcomes, including one situation where you have three teams. Well, you'd have, in every case, you have three teams tied at 2-2. But in one scenario, the tie is broken by the head-to-head amongst the teams. It seems like one team beat the two other teams in the pool play. But if I think if Padilla wins, then it goes to the draw shot challenge. So this.
You can just tell him where we want to.
Yeah. Is he here?
So it looks like Feldman put up another guard. And so Leslie Chi is going to try to draw around all the cruft.
Because you guys know you're in. So we can just get your picks and then let you know what you end up with.
So this is looking a little light, which I think is the miss here, but they also want to make sure it gets over into the draw path. That was 17:07, so that was a bit slow there. So it's interesting, we have all these games and it comes down to possible ties and then breaking the tie with the draw shot challenge, which is the draws at the end of every practice. Or to take it back even further, every game has a practice before the game. Each team gets 8 minutes to warm up, and then at the end of the warm up, they do a draw shot, where two players from the team try to get as close to the center of the house as possible, and they measure the distance. Oh, some pinball action here that could end up being a little lucky for Feldman, but is not, unfortunately. It opens things around. It moves one of the reds to the wings. And so it looks like they're going to try and hit the red out and roll under. And we've seen Reed make these hit and rolls before. Thank you to everyone tuning in for this contest. Has some lag going on there. Apologize for that. And this is over curling. Unfortunately, it's going to go through the rings out of play. So it looks like it's just over curled out of hand.
I don't know them super well.
So definitely appreciate people tuning in now. And we invite people to tune in tomorrow for Championship Sunday. Championship Sunday. Where we're going to have the men's semifinals start at 8:30 Pacific time, also Mountain Standard Time. This rock is over curling slightly, so it's going to crash on the guard. And then roll on top of the red. So I think there's a draw path to the button now. And I think Mewers would like to draw and put a stone right in the top 8-foot, 12-foot ring with Reed's next stone, as Menahin is calling the game again. Menahin had to withdraw from the last game due to injury and to help her. She's holding the broom so she doesn't have to sweep. So Championship Sunday starts at about 8:20, 8:25. And then the championship game starts at 12:30. Let's say 12:20. And this one overcurls again, so just a couple misses by Reed, unfortunately. The shot does roll into the draw path, so it narrows the port slightly. So I guess it's a question if Feldman wants to try to take on the shot stone now from Mewers. And if they do pop it out, that brings 2 Feldman reds into play. So there's a possible 3 building for Feldman in the ring. So it's a very dangerous situation. And Feldman needs to win to make the women's final, which is set for 12:30 on. It's all good. All set for 12:30 here at the club, or the club as it's called. People don't call it that. So it looks like they're going to try and go through the port, do some soft weight takeout. Needs to curl a bit. It looks like it's on the guard. And so Manaya is probably going to go up to try to sweep if she can. And so it does run the guard back a bit. It looks like we have another final on sheet A, which will determine the playoff pool for the men. I think I'll wait for the head ice official to let me know what that is exactly. I'm not inclined to guess. So it looks like Padilla prevailed.
So you're in? I think so. I'm like 90% sure. All right.
And so with Padilla winning, we have that 3-way tie at 2-2.
And a little bit of luck.
So while we're figuring that out, let's see how Queena's doing with her shot. I think she's looking to just draw into the pile here, just muck it up even more, because it is pretty mucky. So people are on tenterhooks here, or tenterhooks, tenderhooks. I think that's the phrase. I'm going to use my time and data plan to look it up. It's tenterhooks. Definition is a sharp hooked nail used especially for fastening cloth on a tenter. So that is our word power for the day. So fascinating outcome in the men's field. Still waiting for the outcome to know for sure. We are to skip stones on our feature sheets. Feldman has 2 rucks to go. Mewers has 1. Looking to draw, it looks like. Maybe tap one of the yellows back, or maybe hit the inside of the red. Let me show you what I'm seeing. That is an interesting scenario here. So I think looking to tap the red back. It needs to curl a bit, but now it's curling. So now the issue is they don't want it to curl too far. That was 12:59. And so it's going to push the red back to the edge of the 8-foot ring.
Evan.
So I think Mewers and Manaya will probably try to close the door on the right side to prevent Feldman from trying that run back again. So that is the shot call as Menine has the broom down for her skip. Looking to just block the run back. It's hanging out wide, and there's a danger of it falling out, actually. So they're trying to coax it over as much as they can. Now it's starting to break, but it's not going to get back too much. So unfortunately, a slight miss there from Mewers. But I think it's enough that they don't want to try the angle raise again. So they're going to try the angle raise on the left side. And that looks feasible. I would probably rate the percentage of making that shot at about maybe 10%, 1 in 10. It's going to be a tricky one. You got to run the red onto red back towards the button. So it's a tough one. It's a bold move, Cotton. I haven't said that before at this event. As Feldman gets set. Going to probably need like hack weight here. And that's close. As the sweepers jump on it. It's over curling a little bit. Let's see how it goes. It's going to get 1, 2, pushes it to the back, 4 foot, but not enough to get into scoring positions. That was close. And that definitely underscores how feasible the shot was. But that's going to be a steal of 1 for Team Mewers. As Feldman carries the hammer into the 6th end. And we'll be right back as we continue with our coverage of the 2025 Double Takeout MoPac Championships live from Coyotes Curling Club in Arizona. Rocks in play. We're underway here in the 6th end. Team Mewers is holding on to a 5-1 lead as Kira Manayan throws her first rock into the rings with an in-turn clockwise release. Settles in, biting the 8 foot, and so it looks like Feldman's going to try to take it on. Actually, she's calling for a guard or draw to the side for Amy Putnam. So they are looking to pop out the Mewers yellow. It's enough to push it back, but not enough to get it gone. So it pushes the Mewers yellow to the left side of the 4 foot, and then the shooter is on the outside of the 8 foot on the right. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by Endgame Curling, manufacturers of the Endgame Icon and Endgame Origin brooms. Both brooms feature eco-friendly fabric replacement, innovative locking sliding position as the hit is made and it's going to roll towards the center. Endgame Curling also offers the large radius sliding bar, an adjustable pivot resistance, and a quick disconnect broom head, elevating the standard of high-performance brooms. EndgameCurling.com. So Manayan made her shots with a takeout, a hit and roll there. And so now Feldman, I think, is looking to ask Putnam to do a hit and roll of their own. This rock looks pretty good. It's over curling a little bit, even though Melissa's trying to hold the line. And they're going to get a piece of it? No, unfortunately, it flashes and goes by everything. So this is a game with playoff implications in the women's field. If Feldman wins this game, she forces a championship game with Team Connolly from Wine Country. If Mewers wins, it sets the table for the women's field, and there won't be a need for playoffs. But Mewers is playing for pride as they're looking to get into the win column for this event. It's been a tough playdown for them. So that draw by Leslie goes into the 4-foot, sets up a possible double, and Melissa McGuire is eager to take on the double. It's hard to tell how eager she is, but I would assume she's eager. This line is looking pretty good. I think they want to hit it close to center. So they're going to get 1 and 2 yellows moving. The first yellow is going to go through the rings and out of the house, but still in play. But that is going to be close enough for an unofficial double takeout, brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Looking pretty good. I think they want to hit it close to center. So they're going to get 1 and 2 yellows moving. The first yellow is going to go through the rings and out of the house, but still in play. But that is going to be close enough for an unofficial double takeout, brought to you. And we have Leslie's Nets Rockhead down the way. That double takeout again, unofficially, is brought to you by doubletakeout.com. So Leslie's being asked to play the hits. There's a issue of it jamming on the yellow in the back, and it does. But the outcome is still not too shabby. As the Chi Yellowstone settles into the top 4-foot for shot, and then the red that got big contact with a ricocheted and rolled back under the shot yellow to be second shot in the full 8-foot. So we have Melissa's next, and she's going to try to play the hit again with the clockwise rotation. They don't want to jam on the stone in the back, and they don't. And so, well, there was a jam in the back, but it was the yellow in the back 12-foot. So that shot was made by McGuire. That was 2 takeouts in a row, including a double takeout. As we see Reed with their nest rock, I think looking to maybe do a double takeout. Sweeping for line, so maybe looking to do a plan B. They could maybe get both moving. They get one moving. And then the shooter's going to roll through the rings and settle in the back of the sheets, not scoring. So a decent outcome for Reed. And so Leanne very quickly gets the rock underway, looking to put up a front stone, I would imagine, to protect their shot stone and to sit a second stone. As the house is wide open now for Team Feldman. This could be a great opportunity for Feldman to jump up the scoreboard. And that settles in the top 4 foot. So the double is there, and Kira's looking to line it up. But that was a good draw there from Leanne. As Barry delivers. Looking to push it over. It's going to maybe get one on the side. And that's all they get. The shot stone misses everything and goes through the rings. And the shooter settles in the right side of the sheet, out of the rings, not scoring. And so Sharing's going to be asked to put that front stone back. This is looking pretty similar to the first one. And the sweepers are just walking it down the ice. And that settles in close to where the first one was before. There could be a little spot for Mewers to draw to. And that seems to be what Menine is looking at. They follow a similar broom to what Feldman had. But also they could try the double again. And so that might be the call, to try the double again. And then maybe draw to the button for their last if they have to, or if it works for them. So Mewers is trying the other turn, the out-turn counterclockwise rotation. And this is going to just chip the outside. And soft rolls the shot stone to the edge of the 8 foot. So just a slight miss there. They busted up the broom shooter in the tavern in the warm room. So they don't normally do broom shooters during playdowns until the team is eliminated. So I think that might be a team that has concluded their play. So we have Katie Feldman with her first. I think just looking to put up another front stone and sit 3. And that seems to be what's going on. Although this is a bit heavy, it's going to go to the back of the rings. It's going to chip off their own shot stone and spin to the back 12 foot. So a difficult situation as Mewers doesn't have any rocks really in the rings. There might be like one hanging on the edge, but otherwise Feldman is sitting 3. And so Mewers is coming down to talk to Menine about the shot selection. They're doing okay on time. Teams have 30 minutes to play 8 ends with so-called thinking time, and teams anticipate using about 3 minutes. Of 3 to 3.5 minutes of thinking time per end. And so with 2 ends to go after this, they would need to have about 7 to 8 minutes. So they all have plenty of time. So the issue is that there's not really a good place to put a stone. But I think drawing on top of the center red might be the call. Especially since it is shot. The downside is if it's heavy or light, it gives Feldman a chance to make a play for 4, which would tie things up and make it into a whole new ball game. Excuse me, I just sniffed that. Looks like they're still thinking over the shot. Now Mewers gets sets. Looking for a draw. Facing 3 without the hammer. This is a tough row to hoe. Sweepers jumped on it early. And they want to make sure it's deep. I mean, it doesn't need to crash, but it needs to be deep enough to be useful. That was 13-12, so the weight is probably pretty decent. But it's over curling, so they need to make sure it doesn't go through the rings. And it hangs on to the edge, the back of the house, and oh my goodness, that was not enough ice apparently for the shot. The weight was pretty close, but unfortunately it just over curled. And so looks like Feldman is sitting 1 right now, but there is a chance for 4 to tie things up.
I'm getting the one on the right. Yeah, giving up 3. Giving up 3.
So a prime opportunity for Feldman here. Looking for a hit for 4. She's choosing to go at it from the other turn from Mewers. Taking a pause to resets. And her shot's away. That looks like to be about hacked weights. Wants to make sure she holds the line and sticks around for that 4th point. And it looks pretty close. And it's there, 4-4. Good takeout there by Feldman. And it is a whole new ball game as Feldman takes 4 to tie things up. We're all square at 5 with a possible 2 ends of regulation to go. I'm going to take a pause that refreshes, and I'll be right back to our ongoing coverage of the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships.
Structural that would be the that data.
Wanted me to take over moderating the
So rocks in play. We're underway here in the 7th end. We'll still have a little interference on the video. I apologize for that. As Amy Putnam draws to a centered guard. Good shot there. It looks like the playoff pool has been set for the men as Manine is set to deliver. It looks like in men's pool 1, we have Gilbert as the 1 seed. And then we had a 3-way tie between Team Malaret and Skidmore and Padilla. And I think based on the head-to-head, they all won one, lost one. And so they went to the draw shot. And I believe, I can ask real quick. Or check the board. I'll be right back. Ooh. Okay, so just to confirm, yeah, so it was a 3-way tie for seconds with 2-2 records, and so then based on the draw shot challenge, Team Malaret had the lowest draw shot challenge, and so they're the 2 seed in the men's pool 1, and that sets up a contest against men's pool 2, where Team Blackshear and Team Palmore both had 2-1 records. It looks like Blackshear got the 1 seed. And so the playoff pools are set. We're going to see these teams in the morning. And we might see a women's game depending on who wins this game right now. If Feldman wins this game, we're going to have a women's playoff game. And if Queena wins this game, Mewers, there's going to be, the table's going to be set and we'll know who 1, 2, and 3 are. And this is the only game on the ice. Again, we had 2 men's games on the ice, but they wrapped early, just given the score. But in each game, one team jumped out early, and the other team couldn't come back. In sheet A, we had Team Padilla win 8-2 over Team Collins. That game was called after the 5th end. And then on sheet C, Team Gilbert of Oval were 9-1 winners over Team Skidmore of Wine Country. So that's the action on the ice. And we're going to see just a chip off there by Melissa McGuire's next stone. And again, we do hope people will tune in for our Championship Sunday starting at about 8:25 a.m. Mountain Standard or Pacific Time for men's semifinal, and then at 12:25 our men's final, and also a possible women's final. So a lot of curling left to go, and this is to decide who will represent our region MoPac at the Arena National Championships coming up this fall at Curl Vegas in Henderson, Nevada. Got a little pinball action on Cheese Stone, enough to tap the Feldman red to the back 12 foot. So still Feldman sitting shot. And so for MoPac, we are sure to have 2 representatives for both men and women, so a total of 4 teams. And that's because we had MoPac teams win the national championship last year, including Team Spangler for the men out of Wine Country and Team Aces for Silicon Valley for the women. And so as part of the setup of the event, the defending champions have a chance to return to defend their title. So some pretty exciting times, and like a lot of fun events coming to our region this fall and winter, in addition to Curl Vegas, which is in our geographic region. They are not a member of our association for a complicated reason. It's very understandable though. So we have Curl Vegas hosting Arena Nationals. We have Stateline, Nevada hosting the Grand Slam of Curling, which will feature the top men's and women's teams around the world in a curling tournament set for the fall. And that's in Stateline, Nevada, the home of Lake Tahoe Epic Curling. And then coming up in late March, early April, Ogden, Utah will host the Men's World's Championship after the Olympics. Oh, and this rock is over curling, so just a bit of a miss there, unfortunately, by Chi. And so we have, again, the Arena Nationals coming to Vegas. We have the Grand Slam of curling coming to State Line, Nevada, and the Men World Championships coming to Ogden, Utah, the site of the 2002 curling at the Olympics. And so there's a lot of curling to see, and also a lot of curling to volunteer for. And also, if you're a top team, hey, you might be there. So, and hopefully we'll see you there. So it looks like Feldman's going to try to chip out the yellow stone that was biting, and is able to make contact on it. So this is some MoPac After Dark action we're seeing. We had 2 blowouts, and then we have a game that's neck and neck. And I'm glad we chose this game to show. And I say that because if the other game wrapped up early, we would have moved the cameras. But I don't want to move the cameras, so it worked out well. So Mewers has the hammer, but they're facing 2 Feldman Reds as Reed Berry pushes out from the hatch. Looking to, I think, hit and roll on the red and the wing. It's going to just flash. Oh my goodness. That was a close shot there from Reed. So let me show you what I'm seeing. So with Feldman already sitting 2 in the rings without the hammer, Feldman is asking Leanne to put a stone in the top of the 12-foot. It's going to be a little short, but it does kind of clog up the front and makes the draw to the button a little bit harder. So it looks like Reed is being asked to draw around on the other side. Facing 2 in the rings. This is Reed's second. Reed playing the 3rd stones for Team Mewers. Mewers kind of changed up their order in part because Kira Manayan had to withdraw due to injury from the last game. She's playing this game, but they have her holding the broom to minimize the physical activity. And so that was a great draw from Reed. As they threw 13.62, so the ice might be a little slower than it has been during this tournament. Because we've seen T be about like 14.10, 14.20, and that's about a half second faster. Or the ice is about a half second slower, pardon me, than it has been during this event. Looks like Leanne is putting on her gripper as Feldman makes her way to the hack. And it looks like we're looking for a draw to sit on top of the rock that Reed just threw. So Feldman gets set. And so we should see ideally about the same weight as Reed's last, which is about 13.62. This is over curling though. Oh, it does crash on the guard. And they're able to kind of roll it to the top of the 12-foot. It looks like it might be nibbling. It's hard to tell.
Hey, does this purse have this seat, or can we consider it? I mean, I don't want to get purse away.
And so I think they're going to try to follow one good draw with another. As Mewers is set. Teams, you can see, have 8 to about 8.5 minutes of thinking time remaining. to play just over an end. So both teams are doing well on time. And the time games were in part to kind of encourage timely play and also to keep the game, I guess, more interesting for television. I got 1491, which looks like it could be top of the house. And you could hear some off-ice skipping from the warm room. So that was a little faster than Reed's first, but I don't know what the difference was. Maybe Reed did a bit of a positive release on their delivery. Thank you. So interesting setup in the house. The draw on the right really isn't there anymore. So Feldman's looking to draw on the left. And just as a reminder, Feldman does not have the hammer. Mewers does. And so Mewers is probably looking to score at least 2 here to be up 2 without the hammer coming home. Being up 1 without the hammer is a tricky proposition. I just noticed, that's when I hit my pen on the table. It just reminded me when I had to transcribe interviews for my job, and like someone like really enjoyed like tapping the table, and it made transcribing a pain in the tuchus. So the broom is down for a draw. Don't know about the ice that Shearing took for Feldman. But looking to, I think, either just basically clog up the path, I think would be the primary objective. So line's the most important. A little light's the miss as well. As Feldman gets set. I think that Leanne maybe took just a smidge more eyes. So the rock is away. And the line's actually looking pretty good, although it's curling now. They can also maybe try to raise the red, as I got 1340. And it does raise the red into the rings, 4-second shot. So that does, I think, do what Feldman was hoping for, a good shot for the Wine Country team. So there's a question of what Mewers should do. And I think tapping the yellow on the right might be the shot. 4-2. Or they're maybe trying to draw. I'm very sorry for tapping my pen. So I'm curious about what people think the shot might be in the chats. As the draw could be there. The port, you can see there is a port. Especially from this head-on view, you can see the ports fairly clearly. And it needs to get to about full 8 foot to count. Feldman is kind of standing in front of where her stone ended up. Or the shot that she pumped up ended up. So the rock is away, looking to draw, maybe calling an audible to try that raise. Now it's curling. They're trying to maybe push it over. It's on the guard though. Maybe calling an audible. It's not going to be enough. Even with a deflection, it's not enough. So close. It's going to be a force of 1. Mewers disappoint and retakes the lead. But Feldman has the hammer coming home in the last end of regulation. We're going to take a pause and we'll be right back. And we are back to our ongoing coverage of the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. It's the 8th end. Mewers has a 1-point lead, 6-5 over Team Feldman. Feldman's looking to win to secure a playoff spots tomorrow midday. Mewers is looking to play spoiler and get into the win column for this event. And so Kira Manayan throwing lead, holding the broom for this draw, puts up a center-ish guard. We have Amy Putnam throwing her stone. And this looks like it's going to get around the guard and settle into the top of the rings. So this is a game that Mewers had a pretty good control on. But Feldman was fighting and was able to get a 4 spot at the 6th end, and that really tied things up and kind of changed the momentum in the game. Mewers had a chance to maybe get a second stone in the 7th end to take a 2-point lead. Just wasn't able to find the right angle. And settled for 1, and it's now currently 6-5 in favor of Mewers, with 1 end to go. And so the strategy for Mewers, I think, has got to be steal, 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 because they giving up 1, it's not the end of the world, but you want to try to secure the win here. And for Feldman, they're looking for 1 to tie, 2 to win. As we see Putnam's last rock head down the ice. That crashes on the guard, and the shooter's going to roll to the guard, the center line. And so the 5 rock rule, I think, is in effect for 1 more stone.
Notice that we broom stack a lot.
Trey, are those your glasses?
They are my glasses. My CBS glasses.
So Leslie, she is about to throw her next stone. Looking to, I think, draw around everything and settle in probably the tee line or the back 4 foot. Very well buried. This is hanging out though. It looks like it's going to be more of a corner guard, pardon me.
I can't tell you everything.
So as currently Feldman sitting buried in the prime position to tie, looking for another rock to secure the win. As Melissa McDwyer is going to try to draw around the center cruft on the left side.
No, don't worry. He's probably got
This rock is carrying a little bit. It needs to sit down. The line was really good, though, for the most part. It's going to sit down in the back 12 foot. Good for second shot. It did show kind of the path for Chi to take, although it's worth noting that McDwyer is a lefty. There's a slight variation between the two. They, righty or lefty, it plays the same. It's just that the angles are slightly different. So Chi's rock is away. that line looks pretty close to what McGuire threw. They're looking to hold the line. They definitely want to make sure it doesn't crash on the red, and it looks like it will. So they don't want to tap the red up any further. And they'll tap it like maybe an inch. So thank you again for tuning in to MoPac After Dark. It's been a wild one. It hasn't been like a party like some of the past MoPac After Darks have been, but you know, the party lives on in your heart. So McGuire's going to try and throw the same type of draw that she just threw. I would maybe give her a little bit more ice. I'm not sure if Feldman did or not, because the first one feathered the red in the rings, and it was a little heavier. So this is going to be very similar to her first. It's going to end up in a very similar position. Just a little less weight. It's going to settle in, put a third Feldman stone in the rings, and that's the second shot. It's good enough for the win if the game were to end right now. So it's time for Reed Berry's rocks. And looking for the draw. Reed's been having a bit of difficulty with the draws on this side. The counterclockwise rotation, I think the weight's been an issue, and the line's been tricky too. So this needs to kind of come back a little bit. Leslie's trying to push it over, and it's not going to get there. And so that's kind of the weight that I was talking about before. So just an unfortunate miss there. And already we're seeing Leanne's shot. So now they're just going to try and close the door. I mean, if they put another stone in the top 8 foot, that wouldn't be bad. But, you know, a lot of teams, like both teams, have tried to draw down that side. And Team Feldman and Katie are saying no more. So I think the draw to the button is going to be the option here. If they can sit buried in the back 4 foot. I say that, but here it goes to put the broom on the left side of the ice, looking to draw again for Reed's next rock. And their release looks pretty smooth. Just I think it wants to make sure the weight and the line is crucial that both are dialed in. And it's kind of floating out wide again. So now the weight is going to need to come into play. As Leslie's trying to push it over, and again it's just a little wide and a little heavy. And it's going to settle in the back 12 foot for 4th shot. Because right now the situation in the rings is that Feldman is sitting 1, 2, and 5, while Mewers is sitting 3 and 4. And while I was recounting that, Leanne throws her next stone. And again, just looking to draw into this pile. I mean, that draw is still there, and both teams are still going for it. And this rock is a little light, but it's going to close that draw path finally. And I think force Mewers to look on the right side of the ice. So right now, Feldman is sitting the 2 rocks they need to secure the win and a playoff berth. And Mewers is just looking for a place to hide a rock. Well, I say that the draw is there. But I looked at the rock scatter in the guard zone, and it's like messy AF, y'all.
Just the worst. Oh, okay. I moved here before you moved there.
Wait, you didn't. You didn't. That's actually not true.
Evan, that's actually bad for me now.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Here's some. He's on the live stream. I don't know if you want to be on the live stream. As a Mewers rock is away, looking to draw through the ports. This line is going to be crucial, and the line is close. They need to push it over a smidge. It's on the guard right now, and it didn't come back. Oh my goodness. Feldman is 2 rocks away from securing this win.
No one has seen my chin in 29 years.
So I think Feldman's going to try to take away the raise.
But it's not,
And then maybe Mewers will have a double tap raise for the win. But then Feldman will have one more chance to respond. So some tough shots coming for both teams. And Feldman could try to split the difference with the front stone guard, because it's kind of tricky. But top teams try to split the difference and make it hard for the other team to execute either shot on that side of the ice. So Feldman's got the broom. Actually, Sharon's calling, kind of indicating the place. And that's kind of where I thought they wanted to put it, the split, the difference position, where it would take away the raise and the angle raise for Mewers. So Feldman's rock is away. The line is going to be the most crucial part as the sweepers jump on it early. Shearing moves up to where they want the rock to be. And it looks like it's close. It's over curling slightly, but let's see if it's going to stop in time. And it stops in time. My goodness, what a shot. But if you look at the over-the-shoulder view, you can see that the right side is accessible for the angle raise. It's also possible. So both shots are still possible, actually, because they can also try to do a counterclockwise shot down the center and hit the other side, or kind of close to center of the yellow, just to the right of the center. I've been thinking about trying to get a telestrator so I can start drawing on the screen. But that guard is high enough where it might not be, I mean, it's a distraction, but the factor could be negated, perhaps. Both teams have plenty of time, so they're letting the clock run. You can see here, Mewers has 3 minutes and 45 seconds to throw one more stone, while Feldman has just over 3.5 minutes to throw their one stone. So both teams have plenty of time. They shouldn't lollygag, but they definitely have time to talk about their options. I kind of like the down the middle, cross the face. The only issue, one of the issues is I don't know if we've seen a lot of stones cross the center. The other shot on the double tap angle raise is there, I think. It's just that you want to make sure it curls to the right place, and you're dealing with 2 stones or 3 stones total when you include the shooter. Yeah, the tier needs to move the broom up to where they want to hit. Rita's doing a little cleaning near the hog line. So the tap angle raise is the call, and let's see if they can knock down the win here. A tough shot. Neither of the shots that we were looking at is feasible. I mean, not feasible, but like easy. As Mewers gets set for her last without the hammer to stay alive. It looks a little tight, out of hands. It's close. working to hold the line. It's curling, but it looks like it's going to be past the guard, and it's going to get to the stone. Tap, tap. Needs to sit down. It sits down on the edge of the forefoot. 4-1. The crowd goes wild. Curling, but it looks like it's going to be past the guard, and it's going to get to the stone. Tap, tap. Needs to sit down. It sits down on the edge of the forefoot. 4-1. So again, the crowd just loved that shot. Let's see if we can listen in on the timeout here.
All right, all right.
What if you came here and hit the red to the yellow and that would go right there?
I'm not sure either. I don't know if there's enough room to get to the nose of it. I think so. Just because of where the yellow is.
See the head right here. So now it hit there. That one over there.
Here, located where you're down back on the next. Well, I used to take it.
10 seconds, Edie.
Okay, that's good. Like that. Yeah, yeah, so you need to make sure you get to that. Then you're going to do back line. Back line, at least. Okay, back line, yep.
So the timeout is over, and Team Feldman has a quandary. They had a great setup, and just like that, Team Mewers and Queena took it away. So it looks like they're going to try to do an angle raise of their own, hit the outside of the red and try and raise it to the forefoot. And this is a tough shot for Katie Feldman. Looking to do an angle raise of her own. This is the last shot, the hammer, to stay alive and to tie, to possibly force an extra end. This rock is hanging out a little bit. Now it's curling. Can we see a miracle happen again? And this one over curled just by a smidge. And so Queena Mewers and her rink from OC Curling will secure the win and get into the win column. Make the final 8-7, Mewers over Feldman. And that finishes our pool play. And also that finishes the women's Playdowns. As Team Connolly of Wine Country is the clear outright winner with a 3-1 record. Feldman falls to 2-2 and has second place, and Mewers is on the board with 1-3 the record. So 1, 2, 3, Connolly, Feldman, and Mewers. That's how we're going to end it. And we have more action. We have more men's action in the morning, as we have the semifinal draw at 8:25 a.m. as we will see Team Pomeroy, Team Malloret, and Team Gilbert take on. Is it Blackshear the other team? Who's the other team in the field? Blackshear, or is it?
Yeah, we play Blackshear.
Okay, good to know. All right. So it's going to be three old teams and Team Blackshear. So that's coming up tomorrow, 8:25 in the morning, and then our championship final is going to be at 12:25. Lots of action still to come, and we hope you'll tune in. Before we sign off, another hearty thanks to our sponsors, including DoubleTakeout.com, offering up-to-date stats and rankings throughout the curling season. viewers can check out to see how their favorite team stacks up against the competition, doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Test your skip skills against your friends online at curling.gg, free online curling platform with real physics simulation. And by Endgame Curling. Unlike your potential with the curling broom that's right for you, the Endgame Icon, the Endgame Origin, or the Endgame Travel Handle, a carbon fiber broom that separates into 3 for easy storage and carry-on baggage, endgamecurling.com. So that wraps things up. I always forget to do this, but this is a broadcast presented by authority of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. And on that note, a very exciting finale. We got to see a playoff, a pivotal playoff pitcher game. And we're going to see more tomorrow morning with the semifinals starting at 8:25 a.m. Pacific Mountain Standard Time. And again, our championship final at 12:25 p.m. Pacific Mountain Standard Time. And so until then, this has been your host, Ryan Olson. On behalf of all of us here at MoPac, Coyotes Curling, and with thanks to our sponsors, doubletakeout.com, curling.gg, and Endgame Curling, this is your host, Ryan, saying so long, good curling, and have a great night.